My lady, you know me, no give up on you never. Wanna be with you forever, 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 forever. Oh baby, where we they go? Now forward ever, backward never. Them they pray make we run down never, 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 never. I'ma get that low. Girl, you're the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. Money go check I know. Girl, you're the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. They never know. They never know. Without you, baby, the journey go too rough. So you know, girl, I be feeling this love. Even when I'm down, you wanna wait in this up. It's not blessing, I'ma not be luck. Baby, nobody feel day like you. Rara, rara. I say nobody feel make me feel the way you do. Rara, rara. I'ma get that low. Girl, you're the best I know. Our next move, they never know. They never know. Money go check low. Girl, you're the best I know. Our next move, they never know. 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 They never know.
Check, check, check. There we go, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We're back after another Hohner Live last night. We're just going to continue this week. It's full of harmonica live streams. We got the Dorian Harmonica Challenge coming up on Sunday. And today, another Hohner Live interview. This is episode 160, which is crazy. And yeah, this is the special one. This is the first time we're talking to each other. Today's guest is Vincent Bucher, and he's one of the most original voices in French blues harmonica. And his sound is, deeply rooted in blues, but also influenced by Africa and street music and, decades of international collaborations. So, welcome, Vincent. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here, and I'm really, really happy to connect with you and to everybody around, of course.
Yeah, wonderful. So everybody in the chat, let us know from where you're tuning in, and feel free to drop your questions in there too, and I'm going to read them out loud, and yeah. I could even try some French.
Wow, okay. I would love to try some German, since I've been studying German for 5 years in school, but I was so lazy that...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for me, it's like the other way around. I guess I studied French for like 5 years at school.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think the teacher back then, she was like a good friend of my parents. So I was really good in the French class, getting A's and shit. But it didn't feel right being taught by friends of my parents, so that's why I stopped.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah. So, kind of unfortunate in the end, like thinking about it from today's perspective. But yeah, that's how things go. But yeah, can we let the audience know where you're located right now and where you're from?
Well, I'm French, so I was born north of France, but I've been living in Paris for like over 50 years now.
Oh yeah, okay. So what was your hometown that was famous for football?
It's a town up north called Lens. It's, in the coal mining region.
Okay.
It's not a small, well, it's kind of a small town. It depends where you look at it from. But It's not a big town, but it's that's where I come from. But I moved to Paris with my family in the early 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so you're not too far away. But I've never been to Paris for some reason. It's crazy.
Oh, we're waiting for you.
There are quite a
Waiting to
few.
welcome.
There's some other harmonica players based in Paris, right?
Yeah, there's. I mean, actually, the harmonica scene in whatever the blues scene or whatever goes with the harp. It's not only in Paris. There's a lot of them in Paris, but there's a lot of them outside, especially in the southwest or in the west or whatever. There's harmonica players all over the country, basically, like everywhere, I guess.
Yeah. And there might be a scene in Toulouse too. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
noticed that like Howard Levy's giving like an online
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
masterclass
Yeah,
for.
exactly. That was the last time I tried Zoom.
Okay. Right, I see. Yeah, it was like for the people out there who are discovering you today, like how would you describe yourself as a musician? Like, do you also play other instruments on or besides harmonica?
I play guitar. I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a guitar player or a consummate guitar player, but I've been playing guitar for a while, and since even though I'm not that great on guitar, I have a pretty good guitar culture because play with a lot of guitar players. I've been watching their
Yeah.
hands on the neck for quite a long, some years, and I use it mainly to have like a harmonic instrument, and I even strum around with the harp racks, so I use it to back myself up too. But I wouldn't call myself a guitar player.
Oh, okay. So you started playing guitar after picking up the harmonica?
Actually, no. I started by
Okay.
the harp first. That was my first instrument, and I picked up the guitar after that.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you consciously heard the harmonica? And was that also the time that kind of made you pick up the instrument?
Actually, no, it was not the time. I think the first
Okay.
time I consciously heard the harmonica was when I was a kid, because I'm the last of a pretty big family with 7 in the family. And my big brothers were listening to a lot of music and a lot of rock.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to the Rolling Stones, hearing at
Oh, yeah,
least the
okay.
Rolling Stones. And there was this song called What a Shame, and there was some harp in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this instrument? And one of my brothers said, that's harmonica. And that was the first time I was like, well, that's cool.
Okay.
And then, as life went by, I always kept in the corner of my mind the sound of the harp. And even after that, when I started listening to music, every time I would hear the harmonic, I was like, I really dig that. I really dig that.
I see. Yeah.
And
So
I
you
kind
then
of picked up.
started playing at the age of
Sorry.
16 or something.
Yeah. I started playing at 16. Before that, I kind of not really picked up the instrument, but I was trying to, I would buy a harp every now and then. I think maybe just once actually. It was those Echo Super Vamper. That was the European version of the Marine Band at the time.
Oh, okay.
They came in a blue box. And I could isolate note. I could by using like what they call now U-block, with the curved tongue. That was my way of. But I didn't know about cross harp or anything. I didn't know about bending. But I could, at least I could play single notes. And then one day I went with some friends. I was about 15, 16, with some friends to some friend's house, and there were a couple of guys playing guitar. And they started to play blues in G. I didn't know what G was, whatever, but they started
Yeah.
to play something. And I had my harp with me, and I picked up the harp, and it came. I understood like I could blow, and I couldn't bend or anything, but it had a bum, 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 and that was the hit. That was the hit. I came home and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so hearing the harmonica in a Rolling Stones song for the first time, and then was it like a specific player that hit you emotionally back then?
After that, I was not really into harmonica. I was into rock music. Then I really discovered the blues when I was around 15, 16. But I remember listening to Elmore James for the first time, and it was like a revelation. Then I started to listen to Muddy Waters and all, and then, of course, James Cotton, Sonny Boy, Little Walter. I discovered the harmonica players. And I guess my first harmonica record was Big Walter Horton, because I couldn't find the Little Walter album at the time. I couldn't find it. It was nowhere to be found in the stores. But I saw that album with Big Walter Horton with Carrie Bell. I don't know, this Alligator album. And I bought it. So I think Big Walter is probably the first harmonica player that I kind of studied.
Okay, yeah. So, in Paris, like, where did you have your first live appearances with the instrument? Like, did you step on stage? Were there, like, any jam sessions or open stages? Or how important was, like, playing in the streets?
No, actually, I was playing in the streets, really. There was in the center of Paris, this old neighborhood called Les Halles was opening, really. It was reconstructed, and it was starting to be like the hip part of town. And there was a lot of street musicians. At first, me and my friend, we would hang out and we would play in the corner, not trying to bust because we were learning. But then I met some other musician, including one that I'm still playing with. His name is Tao Ravao. He's a French Madagascar string player and singer. We started playing in the street and the subways, and that's how I started really performing.
Oh yeah,
There was a very big street scene at the time, and that's where I met Sugar Blue, who was in Paris and who was playing in the street, and he kind of took me under his wing, and actually he's the first one who brought me up on stage for the first time.
oh that's good. I mean, I got, like, for me, pretty similar experience. It's so important, like, early on to, I don't know, get up on stage with, like, somebody else.
Yeah.
Some other harmonica player, you know?
Yeah, and I
just
remember
found, like, an older picture of me
yeah.
stepping on stage with Joe Felisko and Eric Noden in, like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something, you know?
Yeah. No, I remember Sugar gave me. Well, it was the first time I ever played with a microphone.
Oh yeah.
So me, he was playing duo trio. I think it was with a guitar player and a bass player, and he had this little amp, and he handed me the microphone, and suddenly I could hear my sound with the microphone. And after that, he gave me his amp and gave me my first microphone too. So it was pretty important for me, pretty crucial for me.
Yeah. Is there, like, anything that, like, street playing taught you that no school could teach you?
Oh yeah. Street playing. Well, first of all, we could play for hours. We had to play for hours to make some kind of money.
Yeah.
Plus, you have to really catch the attention of the people, because they're walking by and then they stop. You have to keep them here, and it's very important. I mean, to me, I always seen it as important as any stage. Street playing is it's a real way to play. It's a real performance way of playing.
So how did you do that? Like, solely musical? And
oh yeah, but we would play and we would try to whatever, do the old hard tricks, the Sonny Boy, do playing the high notes and all the time. But we were passionate by the music and we were trying to be good.
so was it more like stepping on stage with Sugar Blue, or did you actually get, like, some sort of, like, was there, like, any lesson situation between the two of you?
No, the first time I met him, I was hanging out in this area I was mentioning earlier, and I have known him. I have seen him on stage already, so I knew. I was like, wow, Sugar Blue. Then I see him pass by the street. I'm like, wow, that's Sugar Blue. And me and my friend, we were just jamming in a corner, and he stopped by and then looked at me and said, "You good, man?" And then he left, and I was like, wow, I was shaking. I was like, he told me I was good. And then he came back, like maybe 15 minutes later. He had this big bass harmonica that he was practicing on, and he said, "Come on, let's play together." So we played there all day together. He was working on his bass harmonica, and I was trying to solo on the top of it. And that's how we met. And then after that, he told me, "I'm playing there, there, and there. Come on down," and all that. So it was great. It was a great day, and then it was really an important encounter.
Yeah, let's also check some questions in the chat. There's David Przewlocki. That sounds Polish or something. Who are your American blues harmonica players' influences, dead or alive?
I would say definitely the whole galaxy of the blues legend, starting from DeForest Bailey, Sonny Terry, John Lee Williamson, Rice Miller, Little Walter, Big Walter. I mean, all of them, it's really for me, they're the one who wrote the book. There's a lot of different players, actually including you, that I listen to that I really love that do different things, But I'm really attached, even though I don't play a lot of traditional blues, I'm still attached to the blues harmonica language. I really love this language. For me, it's the most unique thing, and I'm still attached to it.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a traditional blues stylist, but it's just what I like.
Then there's Boris Kim. What's your favorite harmonica model, both diatonic and chromatic?
Wow. Well, first a chromatic. I use a little chromatic. I'm not a big chromatic player. I can play, of course, the blues way, third position. I can play in a couple of keys on the chromatic, but I'd rather say that I use it more than I really play it, But I love the Larry Adler. But I'm not a big chromatic expert, there's a lot for me to try. As far as diatonic, I grew up on, like I was telling you, at first there was a Echo Super Vamper, then Marine Band came along. I've been a Marine Band guy for years. I used to like Special 22, where I try a different type of Hohner harmonica. My two favorites now are the Marine Band Deluxe or Crossover. They're really my favorite models.
Yeah. And for chromatic?
And for chromatic, I would say I have, not that I have a favorite model, because I don't know it. At the moment, I have a Larry Adler, which is a great harp for me, the 16-hole.
Okay, yeah. And there's Alan in the chat. When you play African blues with soba, what kind of scale or scales do you use?
Well, okay, that's very interesting. When I started playing African music, at first I was just trying to put blues harmonica on the top of it, which worked to a certain extent. Then you have to really study the scales.
Yeah.
And the scales that I play, well, you can play the regular pentatonic, blues scales that you play on the harp. You can also play it in fifth position, and it really works, because the thing with a lot of African music that are modal is you really have to stick to the scale, and you don't play too many extra notes, because the scale itself set the climate, So I use a lot of fifth position.
Okay, yeah.
And there's also a scale that is pretty interesting. I use a lot of third position too, but there's a scale that is also interesting, and it's specific to West African music, like in Mali or Burkina Faso. It's a pentatonic scale. It's like a blues scale, but it doesn't have a third. It just, you use the second instead of the third, which in second position would be like. third position. You know, it's
Okay.
like you play. If you're in second position, you play in third position, but the root note.
Yeah.
You know, you see what I'm talking about. So
Okay.
those are scales that I really use a lot. Then you can use, you know, in other songs you can use major pentatonic. Etc. Or there's also a minor scale, a minor pentatonic scale that I use in fourth position, especially like in music from Ethiopia. That's going to be. Etc. So yeah, you have to think in terms of modes, in terms of melody, and of course in terms of rhythm too.
Oh yeah. That's a good answer to the question. Yeah, I guess so. People tuning in from Brazil and yeah, from France too.
Okay.
So on stage, you're not only playing harmonica, but you also do sing, right?
Yeah.
So
I've always have since I think I was the age of 20. I always, even though I was doing different sideman's work, a lot of sideman's work all around, but I always kept a band of mine together. You know, mainly for years we were doing, you know, standard blues and playing in clubs. And at some point, I started to incorporate original songs. And 12 years ago, I released an album. And then I'm just about to release another one.
okay, yeah, and like, how about harmonica tone? What are you looking for in harmonica tone?
In terms of tone, it's really, you know, I'm sure you know how it works. You know, it's, you know, life makes, in a way, my life makes you decide, you know. First of all, I love the acoustic harmonica, like in front of the mic. I love that. But in terms of electric cupped harmonica, I started playing with amps, and of course, I used to love what they call the Chicago sound, whatever it stands for. But you know, this big fat electric tone. But first of all, because I didn't have a car, and and plus when I started touring, the vibe around me was more rock. So the band were louder and didn't have the so-called blues culture, or less of it actually.
Yeah,
So you would have your amp, and then as soon as the band would come in, you sound like a mouse, you know. So
right.
at some point, I would grab the vocal mic. I would grab some kind of vocal mic and go through the PA, and that's what I started doing, and that's what I've been doing so far. I've been playing through the PA. I've been using different, you know, preamp pedals to be able to have. I love my ideal sound now. That really, to me, I think fits my playing. My ideal tone is like a clean tone that I can just put a slide drive on, you know. And I like to oscillate between the clean and a little overdriven tone, but not too overdriven.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I like, really, and that's what I think fits my playing.
And in case you do play amplified harmonica and like holding the mic in your hands, like, well, how do you hold the harmonica and how do you kind of cover up the little holes on the sides of a marine band?
I usually, well, you make me think of something I never. I usually, I don't use bullets or anything, you know, a static or those bullet mic
Okay.
shapes. I usually use dynamic microphone, whether it's going to be a 58 or even smaller microphone. I just purchased today a snare drum microphone, which is really cool, which is small. I just cup it like that, you know, basically like whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yeah, that's what I do. I usually use. Sometimes I change the cupping and goes like like that, but
Oh
mostly
yeah.
like that, and try to That's why it's nice to have like small microphone like the Fireball or microphone like that.
And then are you like using a lot of tongue blocking, or are you a lip purser?
Well, I'm definitely not a lip purser. Rarely lip purse except for a couple like for tongue slap or something like that. Most of the time, like I told you, I learned by doing the U blocking like that.
Okay.
But then I got into tongue blocking because when I discovered all the sounds, especially when I was learning, I used to listen to the records, but on the really early stage of my learning, I couldn't figure out what were the octaves were of all those tones. I thought maybe that's the amp or whatever. Then when I heard Sugar Blue playing them in front of me, I was like, wow, okay, he's doing this, and I don't say he really taught me, but I just figured out. And I started to incorporate. I started to learn how to tongue block. And then when I first went to the States in '84, and I met a lot of harmonica player like Rob Piazza, Mark Hummel, and all those. They were like, "Man, you got to tongue block all the way,"
Yeah.
So the whole the whole debate. So I started to incorporate more and more tongue blocking. And actually, from then, I have been practicing tone blocking exclusively. But when I play, I really switch between the two, and a little bit of lip pursing too. But tone blocking and U blocking. U blocking is really cool to play the blow band. The U blocking really works well for that.
Oh yeah.
But I use
Which
a lot.
harmonica model are you holding in your hands right now?
Oh, this is the Chinese brand Conjurer, which is part of E-Stop. This is
Okay.
called the Blue Storm. It's actually a very nice harp.
Oh yeah. Never tried those. Yeah.
No, you should. You should. This model Blue Storm is really cool.
So spending time in the American blues scene, like what did you find there that was different from Europe?
Well, I mean, obviously, the energy, the knowledge, also the simplicity, like I would say, the straightforward energy, and but it was the same thing as in Europe too. In a way, there was a lot of purism stylists, and even though in my taste I'm a purist, I don't. I don't consider myself as a purist as a musician.
Yeah.
So there were things that I really enjoyed and things that I enjoyed a little less.
Right. And how about like the audiences, like, or like in general, like did people react differently to?
Oh, the audiences in America is different, definitely different. I would say, especially at the time, because well, it's part of their culture, and people in general they go into a place in a venue to have fun, so they already smile. As we say, especially in France, I don't know how the Germans are, but in France, I mean, I played in Germany many times, but in French, people are more critical, so it's not the same vibe.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But it tend to change. I mean, over the years now, I think people tend to change.
Yeah. I see.
Trying to see you because I don't have. Okay, I see you now. It's just I'm trying to keep my glasses off.
So like people are always very interested in like practice routines or stuff like that. Like when you practice, what do you actually practice?
Well, I go always in a kind of a triptych, which is tone, sound, rhythm, and melody. I have a couple of rhythm exercises that I do regularly. Using decomposing the rhythm very pretty simple. During triplet like 1 2 3 1 2 3, and like putting an accent in a different way.
Yeah.
things like that really helped me along the way when I started learning them. It's actually a drummer, percussion player who taught me that.
Yeah.
So I work on that. Then it really depends. Sometimes it's like I'm gonna have a routine that's gonna last for a couple of weeks, and I'm gonna go. I know I'm gonna study scale or whatever,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna learn solos, or I'm gonna learn, whatever. But it goes the spirit of times, and I change my routine along the way. I'm not very disciplined, but I always keep in mind the sound, rhythm, and melody, phrasing, I would say.
Okay, yeah. Like in terms of techniques, you think there's like any technique out there that's well, let's start with underrated among harmonica players?
Wow, that's a good question. Not really technique, but I think state of mind more. I think a lot of harmonica players, and I plead guilty too. We tend to forget the frequency of the harmonica and how to use the frequencies of harmonica in the music.
That's good,
And
yeah.
we should think when we get into the music, like, does this song, does this moment need this frequency? What would be, is it gonna sound good, basically?
Yeah.
Maybe I got the best killer lick in my pocket, but is it really does it fit the moment? I don't think. And I think, yeah, the frequency issue is very important and more important. Sometimes it happens that I start to play on a song and I'm like, oh, I hate it. I shouldn't do that. It doesn't work, even though I'm just playing one note, but I'm like, no, this is not appropriate, And I think along the years, I try to be more and more careful about that.
Yeah, that's a really good thought. And how about like the opposite? Like, is there anything that's overrated amongst harmonica players?
You can say really the overrated. Of course, you know that when you play. I mean, you're a very complete player and you play a lot of different things. I'm not as versatile as you are, but some people are more focused on the fast speed playing, or the whatever. I think, well, you were just, I'm sorry, I'm getting back to your other question. A very underrated aspect of the harmonica is the rhythm playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The rhythm, and a lot of time people see the harp as a solo instrument, and as they're trying to compete with the guitar, for example. I think we shouldn't go there. I mean, to me, that's my point of view. It's use the harp with its natural limits and possibilities. That's what I like a lot. But then again, it's just my opinion. There's been many different point of view that are as valid, even if not more.
Yeah, that's good. So you were also part of the Heritage Blues Orchestra, and one of those albums was nominated for a Grammy. Like, what made that project special?
Well, that was a very a great project. It was created by a friend of mine named Larry Scholar, who originally was from Chicago, but who started with who I worked on a lot of production and a lot of music in the States and in France. And he put the band together with three front people from New York, Bill Sims Jr., Junior Mack, and Bill Sims' daughter, Cheney Sims. And the band was special because there were musicians from Paris and there were musicians from New York. The core of the band was from New York, and the horn player were from Paris, and the harmonica player, me, was from Paris too. It was great because it was a way to play with, people coming from the blues heritage, African American, that were really aware of the culture and that were really good at it, and it was a great way to play. And it was on the same time we were working on the tradition, but we were not. We were allowing ourselves to be innovative in kind of way. So it was a great experience, which actually is over now. But because the leader of the band, Bill Sims Jr., passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But it was a very
in
interesting
which terms
part.
was that different? Like playing in a larger roots blues ensemble compared to playing in a small blues band?
Yeah, because we were not that much focused on the usual rhythm section and solo, guitar solo and harp solo and rocking the house and all that.
Yeah.
It was more about songs, There was some vocal harmonies. There was no bass. There was 2 guitars but no bass. And sometimes Bill would play piano too. It was really about the songs and the vibe of the songs, which was great. I played a lot of rhythm, harmonica. Some song I would just play a couple of single notes here and there, but I loved it because we were building songs together.
Yeah. So, like, what would you say? I mean, also in general as a musician, but also as a harmonica player, like, what makes a musician valuable in a setting like this, or in general on stage, like?
Well, that's a big. I think someone who's sincere, someone who's conscious of what to play and not to play, and someone who really who really into the music. I don't know. It's pretty generic to say things like that, but yeah. There's so many different ways to be that. You can be wild and explosive. You can be really restrained. Whatever works, But it's got to work. It's got to be in the pocket, and it's got to be in the music and in the spirit. To me.
Yeah. So, like nowadays, what still excites you about the instrument?
I think more and more. It's interesting because when I started to play, and probably because there was also the influence of Sugar Blue, who was a pretty modern player, especially at the time, I was, excuse me, I'm going to turn some light.
Yeah.
I was, is it better?
Yeah.
When I was a younger player, especially in my first years, I was really trying to play everything. I wanted to play horn lines. I wanted to play jazz. I didn't know anything about the overblow. Still don't, but I didn't know it existed. But I was trying. That's why I learned many positions too. That was the good thing. I learned playing different positions because I was trying to pick up anything, and I was trying to transcend the instrument.
Right, yeah.
With the years, I really start, and more, and even more and more now, I really start to love the language of the harmonica, the natural language of the harmonica. And what I like is the balance of that. It's the natural language of the harmonica, and when the originality, the innovation slips in subtly, I mean, I love experimental players, and they're doing an incredible job, but that's not where I put myself in, definitely. But when I was younger, I was trying to get there.
Yeah. So like, what's a thing that you are still trying to improve today?
Everything that I do, I just want to be better. Everything that I do is not good enough for me. I mean, sometimes I get to listen to what I do, and I'm like, okay, that was pretty good. But most of the time I hear it, I'm like, okay, it's got to be better. Basically everything. Tone, rhythm, phrasing, everything. I like the style. I like the direction I'm in, but it's got to be better.
Yeah, but that also is just like a general thing. I think it's just like really good for like any harmonica player, any instrumentalist out there, anyone who's doing anything, record yourself.
Yeah, you record yourself
and listen
and you
back
listen
or
to
like watch back, whatever.
And you listen to other players, and it's so inspiring. I mean, like I've been listening more to you. Before I heard of you and I saw you a couple of times. For example, since you're here with me,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, oh, he's a monster player. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then I started to listen to what you were doing lately, and I was like, wow, I really dig what this guy is doing, and
Mm.
this.
Thanks. Yeah.
So yeah, listening to other players, and you're like, man, they're so good, and I'm not ashamed to say, man, I'm so impressed by players all around that makes me want to be better.
Yeah. There's Boaz Kim, and he's like, would love to hear an example of the rhythm harmonica playing.
I can start, yeah, I can do whatever.
Yeah. That's really cool, yeah. Yeah, Boaz likes it too.
Well, thank you.
Do you have like any suggestions for like people who want to start out playing harmonica? Like looking back at how you started on the instrument, is there anything you could have done differently, or like what's like the best starting point for people nowadays?
Well, the thing is, there are so many things nowadays, with the harmonica. You can learn a harmonica in so many different ways. There's a lot of tutorials, teachers, methods, whatever. When I started, there was none of that. Sometimes you would listen to a harmonica player. Harmonica playing was like, especially blues harmonica playing was like some kind of secret society. You were into something very special.
Yeah.
You were like initiated to it. That was cool. That kind of fit my snobism. In a way. I was like, okay, well, I'm different. Now. I think if I was 16 now, I would be discouraged. I was like, God, I got to learn all this thing. And you got these teachers. Oh, my God, it's difficult. I think, in my personal point of view, whatever you want to do in terms of style of music, still listen to the blues player. And this is an advice that I give to, like a really specific advice that I give to some whatever students when I do lessons or workshop. It's like study solos by a guy like Slim Harpo, for example, who's a very accomplished player, but who plays very clear and simple iconic melodies and song, and it's really a good way to start, because you can get better and better at it because he's an expert, but he also is very simple too. So yeah, that's some things like that. Learn the rhythm, learn to play, chugging, all that, and then try to catch any melody, even not harmonica, any melody you hear, and try to play them on the harmonica, because that really helps with your versatility, and you can discover that. But yeah, basic things like that, I would say.
And what's like the best advice you got for people trying to learn how to bend?
Wow. To learn how to bend, it was it was hard for me because I was playing already with the tongue and the harp, as I was blocking. So I was trying to bend. I could hear those guys, sometimes would meet players on the street, even amateur player, but they could do like, I couldn't do that, I could play cleaner than them, but I couldn't do that. I know that if I was trying to lip purse, then I could bend, but with the tongue on the harp, I couldn't. But finally, I managed to be able to band with the tongue and the harp, and that's why I didn't have problem banding with tone blocking when I got into tone blocking because I was used to that already. But it took me longer to band.
Yeah.
What should I say? I don't know. Wow, it's so hard because you don't see anything in there. I
Yeah.
would say think of the back of the tongue reaching your palate. Maybe is it that? I don't know. I'm trying to,
Okay.
constantly don't blow or draw too hard. Make it like your band's gotta sound nice when they play softly. But that's about it. It's you just got to be with the person and show them. Okay, and it's I don't know. How do you do?
I mean, there are so many ways of like explaining and like
Yeah.
giving different additional advice that could help but doesn't necessarily have to, like
Yeah.
so yeah, it's different for many players out there. There are players who never really get it even though they are working on it.
Yeah.
And then I've so many people giving like one day, like let's say 3-hour master classes, and in the end they can bend on some holes,
Yeah.
So
I even heard. I remember a couple of month ago or years ago in a jam session, this harmonica player came on stage and started to play. He could do incredible overblow. They sounded great. They sounded the pitch, but his band was terrible.
yeah.
I was like, wow. His band sounded just like a beginner, and his overblows were great. I don't know. It was,
Do you overblow at all?
no, 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 no. I started to learn. It was my big nemesis. I started when I discovered Howard Levy, and I was like, wow, this is what I wanted when I started playing. Then I didn't know how to do it. Then after people showed me that, but you have to set the harp and all that. Finally, with a good setting, I manage to do an overblow, but I don't incorporate it in my playing. I don't master it at all. And in a way, by not doing them, I managed to find other ways, to play. It's an excuse that I give for my laziness in a way.
And like, do you teach harmonica at all? Like, do you got any students?
I've been teaching in a music school, like person to person private lessons in a music school for a couple of years, but I got tired of it. I'm doing every now and then like I'm going tomorrow actually for 2 days. And I just got back from one actually from a couple master class. I love having like a group of 5, 6 people.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
know,
perfect.
yeah, that's perfect. I take the guitar, I back them up, and then I have time to to study every player, and they can listen to the quality and the downfalls of the other player. So that's the kind of situation, kind of teaching situation that I like.
Yeah. Yeah, 5 people is perfect because
Yeah,
everybody gets to play.
yeah, exactly. And I think the most important thing is to play. And one thing that also you were asking for, what advice could I give to any beginner? And one advice that I always give is whatever, as soon as you can do a couple of notes and you can sound good on a couple of notes, try to play with someone. Try
Yeah,
to start your own little musical project with
can be
someone.
anyone.
That's how you're going to get better. That's the best way to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect if you
Yeah.
can play some accompaniment for people on the guitar
You
and
know,
stuff.
Yeah, no, even more than jamming, because jamming is cool, but jamming is to me, it's kind of a social event. You just show up and you do your little thing. But be part, create your music project where you can work day after day on songs and,
Yeah.
listen to them and see how you get better. You see what you need to learn. That's the best way to go for me.
Yeah, there are many different types of jam sessions out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like some of them are just about being there, being seen, or whatever.
Exactly.
Some of them are just about showing off. Some of them are about
Yeah,
actually jamming and having fun. Like they have like different. I don't
Yeah.
know. there's a different focus for all of them.
I love jamming with friends. Sometimes I get together with friends and we just jam in a room, and I love doing that. Going to jam session for me, especially in places. I mean, you're just helping the bar owner to collect some money, basically, because that's what they do. That's why they do that. You know, it's not really.
Yeah.
They do that because I know there's a lot of people gonna show up and have drinks, but you know, it's musically. It's usually. I mean, sometimes you can get lucky and have a good evening, but it can get from sugar to shit, really. Especially blues jam session, because a lot of blues jam session can be an excuse for a musician to play some lousy rock, you know.
Yeah.
Like a 40 minutes version of Hey Joe, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, but that's also like, gotta make those experiences.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's part of life, definitely.
Because there's so many different sessions out there. I mean, I remember going to a jazz jam session for the first time and noticing how bad I actually am and how much I still have to practice because I lost the form of the song completely. And
yeah, at least jazz is good for jam session because there's the complexity of the music. It's like it's the standard test. You know where you're in it or not. But blues as a so-called simple kind of music, it's an open door to a nightmare. You know, it can be.
Yeah, and then
because everybody think they can play blues. You know, everybody think they can play blues.
Yeah, and then I remember a lot of like, let's say groove jam sessions, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then like everybody could turn up, and sometimes you had like really good evenings, and sometimes whatever, like an elderly woman comes there with her violin and like amplifies the whole thing and just like goes crazy and destroys everything. So like,
yeah, sounds like something you've been through.
So that stuff can happen. But then also like the last time, but that's also years ago, I went to jam sessions. Even like, yeah, you would kind of think a jazz jam session, like you would get together with like the better musicians there. But actually the better musicians from my point of view or for my taste were at the groove or pop music session, because I mean they knew how to end a song and stuff. Like at the jazz jam session, like nobody knew how to end a song. That was so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be great at improvising over the changes and stuff, but they didn't know how to end the tune.
I hear you.
So we're doing these monthly harmonica challenge with like changing topics, and this Sunday it's about the Dorian mode.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah, you got like any thoughts on that or advice for the audience out there who's trying to participate?
Well, if you know what the Dorian mode is, it's already there. I mean, you know what to do, basically. What should I say? I mean, I'm sure. I know. I'm sure. Well, I mean, are you talking about Dorian mode in third position or in other position too?
Doesn't matter. I feel like
doesn't matter.
Most players are going to do stuff in third position, obviously.
Yeah,
but
that's the most obvious thing for that.
Yeah.
What can I say about Dorian mode? I say listen to the chords.
Yeah.
You have to really be careful.
Pick a good backing track. I don't know, man. Are you aware of like any Dorian melodies that are famous? Or?
I mean, as in terms of backing track, if you check out on YouTube, check out the Afrobeat backing track. You know, usually they're on one chord, and they're usually on for the Dorian mode. I noticed that.
Okay.
Like when you check the Afrobeat backing track. That I don't have one in mind, but it comes right away. And they usually like A minor Dorian that because that's what Afrobeat music is uses the Dorian mode a lot.
Yeah, I hope there's gonna be a lot of different styles for the challenge. Like, you got like any suggestions for upcoming challenges, like for next month, like a topic that could be
Let me
fun?
think of it on the top of my head. I think one thing I like to do in like in master class or whatever is you take like a three choruses, whatever, whether it's a blues or whatever, something else, but something pretty simple, and just ask the player to play on two holes.
Okay.
First chorus on two holes, second chorus maybe at the third one, and whatever. But it's really interesting to do that because you actually find great ideas.
That's also pretty good considering the different levels and skills of the players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's usually the exercise in itself sounds like something very mechanical, but actually it turns out to be a very musical exercise when you get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, whatever. 2-hole harmonica challenge. Just playing on 2 holes. That's good. Yeah, I was also thinking of like, now in summer, maybe like an outdoor challenge so everybody has to play outside.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, usually that's best case, like people upload videos, so that could be fun. Upside down,
holes
holding the
outside.
harmonica the other way around.
Oh yeah.
That's also good. Yeah, it could be fun stuff. Could be also a little more, whatever, style based or.
Or there was also I don't know. I remember this Russian harmonica player who was doing this thing of playing, not using the third or not using the fifth or not using the root. Things like that. They're pretty good. They're pretty good exercise, and they can bring you different, different aspect of the instrument too.
Yeah, that's in general really good to just restrict yourself.
Yeah.
Good for creativity.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice, yeah. I think I put like some of your social media links and stuff in the description box, but like where can people stay updated? I put your Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, I'm in my Facebook, Instagram. I'm not. I should be more on Instagram. They can check on YouTube too. Very much. I mean, what to say? I don't have any big news. Yeah, I'm gonna be releasing my second album pretty soon, but it's not now. I definitely will be announcing it on social network.
Yeah. Okay. Like, which kind of setting is that? Are you playing with a band on that one? I'm playing. I really did it and produced it with the 2 guitar players I'm working with, and it's more of an acoustic flavor, but there's also percussion, bass, and drums. But it's pretty laid back acoustic flavor. It's not a power band or anything. Nice. Yeah. So everyone out there, you can check out the description box and follow along. You can also get ready for the Dorian Harmonica Challenge. That's Sunday, 6 p.m. German time, Central European Summer Time. And yeah, I encourage everyone to join, also beginners, because in the end, it's just a spinning wheel that decides on who's going to win. So, yeah. That's always a lot of fun. And you can basically choose a Hohner harmonica you want to win in the end.
Wow.
Which is really good. And usually there aren't too many beginners uploading submissions. So
Well, on the Dorian mode, they can, you know, they just have to play
Yeah.
the C scale.
You don't have to think a lot. Just get a good backing track, and if you're feeling the rhythm, it's gonna sound really good. So nice. Yeah. Thank you, Vincent, for joining tonight.
Well, thank you, Konstantin, for inviting me. It's really a pleasure, and I'm glad we finally had a chance to talk together. Hope we get a chance to meet in person soon.
Yeah. Crazy, I've never been to Paris.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Give me a call when you do.
All right. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Have a nice
Yeah.
evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
My lady, you know me, no fi give up on you never. Wanna be with you forever, 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 forever. Oh baby, where we they go? Now forward and far, backward never. Them they pray make we run down never, 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 never. I'ma get that low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move they never know, they never know. Money go check I know. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move they never know, they never know. They never know. They never know. Without you, baby, the journey go too rough. So you know, girl, I be feeling this love. Even when I'm down, you wanna waiting this up. It's not blessing, I'ma not be luck. Baby, nobody feel there like you. Rara, rara. I say nobody feel make me feel the way you do. Rara, rara. I'ma get that low. Girl, you the best I know. Our next move, they never know, they never know. Money go check I know. Girl, you the best I